and welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to weave using the square stitch these incredible Aztec earrings. For this project we're going to use the size 11 Miyuki Delicas in the three colours that we have here. I've also got the 6mm Bugle beads, and we will use just a very few of the size 15 round Miyukis. We've also got a pair of ear hooks, our precision scissors, and an 8-pound Fireline. I've pre-cut 1 metre of the Fireline and threaded that already onto a 12mm beading needle. I'll show you how to start this project. Thread the following beads onto your beading needle. So we're going for a red 11 and a turquoise. Take this down to the end of your project, leaving about a 10cm tail of thread. You're then going to fold, so we're going to move that down and we're going to go up through the bottom of the red size 11. And that will bring these two to sit side by side. Like so. Go back down through the turquoise bead. And then pick up one of your gold size 11s. It's sticking to my finger, sorry about that. So we're going with the gold and then back through the turquoise to get those two to now sit side by side as well. So we're coming out from the turquoise, back up through the gold, and just correct them so that they're all sat in a neat line. Then we're going back to our gold, size 11, red, size 11, back up through the gold, and back down through the red. Next, your turquoise. Through the red, up through the turquoise, and then onto our gold. We're now going to thread 4 gold in the next sequence. Don't worry too much at this point if we've got a bit of a wobble going on. Try and get them to sit as side by side as you can, but we're going to repass through with the thread and secure this row a second time as well. So I've picked up my gold through the turquoise, down through the gold, another gold, and back down. So we've now had the 4 gold, and then we're going to do this section in reverse out. So turquoise. Same method still, we're just changing the colour sequence as we move to the right hand side. We're creating the bottom half of our triangle for the earring here, and then we'll do the top larger half after. Okay. So I've completed the sequence for my bottom row, and what I'm now going to do is actually go all the way around this bottom row again to keep that tension perfect before we continue. So I'm just going to weave all the way along. So back up through the turquoise, then the gold, as you can see, that's now neatened up that first row really well, and we've got the tail end which is coming out to the bottom here, and then we have our thread coming out at the top. We're going to put our next row on. In order to do that, you're going to pick up one of the reds and a turquoise, and you're going to get between the weave on the gold and the turquoise. So you're going underneath that weave with your needle. Take your needle back up through the turquoise bead, so that should be just sat slightly off from the one below, and the thread's coming out above the turquoise. And we're going to go down through the red, and then across and back up through the turquoise. And when we pull that, you can see there's a slight grading of where it's going in. Then you're going to pick up a gold and go under the weave between the gold and the red and come through, and you're going to go up through the gold and now you can move on to the next one over, which is your red. Red, between the red and the turquoise, pick up that weave, and up through the same red. Turquoise, and then gold. So we're going to drop a gold in this row. So we had 4. On this second row we're going to have 3, and you drop one each row you do, and you'll start to see the pattern emerging as you go on, as it grows. So we're going to go up through that gold, and as I say, on this one we're just going to have 3 on this second row. So I've done my 3 gold and I'm onto my turquoise now, and continue until you're at the end of that row. So we're back at the start of the row, and I'm actually just going to flip that round to my right, purely because I work to my right and therefore it's easier for me. I've just done something strange. There we go. So I'm at the right hand side, and we're just going to start the same way we did the second row. So a red and a turquoise, and picking up the weave between the turquoise and the gold. Get them to sit side by side, and we're going to go up through the turquoise, down through the red, across and back up through the turquoise before continuing on that row. And just remember, we're now on 2 golds on this row. So when we get to this point, you're just having 2 in the centre. And continue like that until we get to our next point, and I'll show you how to finish this triangle off. So I left you off here, and as I mentioned, to keep dropping a bead, giving us this beautiful triangle effect through our bead weaving. So I'm nearing the top, and I thought I'd just pick up and show you how to finish off this section before we move on to our larger triangle. So the bit we're finishing now is this bottom section, and then we'll move on to make the longer of the triangles here. So I'm just picking up, exactly the same process. So I've not changed anything, I'm just going to show you how to finish this section. So that's the end of this triangle. So they're all sat in the position I want them to be, and I'm going to come back down with my needle through this side, and I'm going to take it across to the next red, below, and we're going to finish with a half hitch knot. So you're wanting to grab one of the weaves between our beads, so you just need to get your needle in, and you're going to go and catch one of the weaves. It's a bit hard because they're quite tightly packed here, but just keep with it and you'll feel it go, and we can get one of them. So we bring that in, so we've got a loop, and before pulling the loop through, take your needle back through, pull the knot tight and go back down through one of your Delicas, hiding the knot. I would do another one, and then we're going to cut away any thread. I'm just going to go through that process again, catching one of the weaves, and through the loop. And down. So I can remove this thread now because that's all secure, and we've still got our tail, but don't worry about that, that's going to come in when we connect the two together. So I'm just going to remove this section for now. Perfect. So this is the bottom part, and we've got our tail. Now let's move on to the top larger triangle. So move that to one side. I've pre-strung one of the size 12 beading needles and 1.5 meters. We do need extra because obviously we're making this double the size. So in this one, we're going to add 2 reds and 2 turquoise. Take that down our thread, leaving a tail end for us to finish off, and then we're going to go back up with our beading needle through the red beads. So we've got those 2. Back down through your turquoise. And then back up to give us a nice firm start. I'm just really securing this starter 4 beads. Okay. Move on to your gold, so pick up 2, down through the turquoise, and we're joining them on. And back up. Two red, opposite way through, and back down. Two turquoise, back down, and so on. So I'll complete this row before we move on to the next step. As we did on the previous row, I'm going to work my way along and just really secure this bottom one. Just gives you a much better foundation for the rest of your project. So I'm literally just going to go back up and down all the way. So I'm back onto my reds and I've just flipped that round to work to my right hand side. Obviously if you're left handed, whichever's most comfortable for you. I'm going to pick up another 2 reds and another 2 turquoise beads. Oops, I have a third one jumped on there. And as before with the smaller triangle, we're just duplicating this with double. So the same method but just with 2. So I've gone through the weave at the top and then back up through both of the Delicas. Down my 2 reds. And up back through the turquoise, ready for the gold on the other side. I just have this one poking out a bit, so I'm just going to get him to sit straighter before pulling my tension over. Okay. And then we're on to the gold. So 2 golds to weave between the gold and the red, down and back up. And the same with this row. As we move to the center, we're going to keep dropping like we did on the smaller triangle. We're just doing this double of this original one. I'll complete this row and then we'll move again to our next section in this make. So we've got to that end of the second row of 2, and then we are going to, sorry, this one's just sitting still a bit off, so I'm just going to twist him, that's better. And then I'm going to start again on the third row, and as you can see I dropped the gold in the middle and I'll drop another gold line on this row as well. So you're doing the same 2, 2, and through the weave across until you get to the top of this, and then we'll start again. As we started this project, I left you building up this larger piece triangle after we'd completed the base one. So I've just reached the top of this, and I'm going to show you how to make our little loop that we're going to attach to the earring. So I'm just going to finish off this basic part before we move on to joining the two triangles together. So I'm going to resume by picking up one of the red Delicas. In fact, 2, my apologies. So 2, and I'm going to go through the second weave between the turquoise and the red. Back up through the left hand red. And down again. Through the right hand side. And then back through the red on the left hand side. Okay, now I want to pick up 3 more reds, and I'm going to go back down the left hand. Oops, just caught another one underneath. Just catch the one. Making a little 3 loop here. Go back up the right hand and the one above it. So we're just securing that 3 that are on top and across. Okay. So we're now exiting the left hand side of the Delica, and you're going to pick up 6 of the Miyuki round size 15s with your needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and through the right hand side of the Delica. Now we really want this as secure as we can, so I'm just going to spin that round because I work to my right, and I'm going to pass my needle all the way around the 15s again. So I've just flipped the project over if you're wondering how come I'm working to the right. So I've come all the way around the beads and go back through the Delica. And then I'm going to work my way with my thread down, weaving through until I get to the bottom corner of my project. So just take your time, you don't want to miss any beads. And this will just reinforce how tight this tension is up at the top section. I'm just going to do 2 at a time until I've got to the bottom. So we're down to our last bead here, and I'm going to go through the red on the last row, and then I'm going to come out with the needle, and I'm going to hook. So there's this side here that has no needle on. This is the side we have the needle on, and I'm going to hook through one of the weaves at the bottom, so between the turquoise and the red here, and I'm going to pull that up and thread one of the round golds and one of our 6mm bugles, another round gold, and I'm then going to get hold of the bottom triangle. So just slide them down so you can see where we're up to, and I'm going to take hold of the weave between the gold, the red and the turquoise here. So I'm going to take my needle between those two and bring that down to the beads. Okay, go through the gold, bugle and gold, and pull the tension tight to join those two sides together. I'm then going to weave up through the turquoise bead. So the two turquoise, and then come out with my needle above that. And that's how we're going to join these sections. So that's the first one done. And before I continue with that, I'm just going to pop my needle onto these two, and I'm just going to work them back up and finish either side with the half hitch knot. So the same knot we did before, where you go up through the beads, hook through the weave, make a loop, and then tie that off. Trim that off with your precision scissors, and we'll come back to finishing the three next bugles on our row. So give you a few minutes to get them done. Okay. We've removed our threads and hidden them with the half hitch knots in either side of the triangle. So I'm back up to where I came out of the two turquoise. I'm just going to move my project around to make it easier. And I'm going to work my weave along until I'm between the gold and the turquoise on this side. So I'm just going to weave across the beads. So I'm now coming down through the turquoise, and as we did on the other one, we're going to hook through the weave, one gold, one bugle, one gold, and between the parallel weave on the smaller triangle. Back up and then keep going down until we've got all these positioned correctly. So we've secured all our bugles on our project and the two sides are now together. I'm going to finish this with the half hitch knot and then attach my ear hook to complete the project. So I'm grabbing under the weave, through the loop and pull that tight, and then up through the beads above it. I'll pull the knot in and tidy that edge. This is the really nice, easy bit of the project. So once you've gone through all that wonderful hard work, we're going to pick up the gold. I'm using a gold plate, but you can use 9-carat gold earrings, whichever suits you best. And I'm just going to open the base of the ear hook using my pliers. So I'm just going to use the flat nose pliers, twist. So I'm supporting the neck on the ear hook and I'm going to twist that open and I'm going to attach that onto the loop of our earring there, and then I shall close that back together with the same twist, and that will finish our amazing Aztec earrings. And I think you'd need a well-deserved break after that. Well done on the completion of your earrings. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial and we look forward to seeing you for our next one. Subscribe now and get all of the latest designs as soon as they come out. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this one and we hope to see you next time. Bye!